And we're back for our halftime show between Golden Guardians, Challenger, and Cincinnati Fear. Golden Guardians pulling back the comeback off of the performances of their mid and bot lane. Mazel, you threw it to break.
Comeback are all part of the plan. That's all.
Ooh,
It depends.
or just
Are we
late game
coping or
scaling
not?
Kassadin.
Oh!
So Mazel referenced the KDAs. I want to read them off for you. 10, 1, and 13 for Young, 12, 4, and 10 for Array. These two were absolutely stomping throughout the game. And even though the top half of the map was struggling a little bit, they kept them in, they stacked the dragons, and they didn't even need the soul to close out the game. But they always had that as a threat and forced Cincinnati Fear to answer that, which then put Fear into really awkward positions. So cool stuff overall. That's the game in a nutshell, but we're going to go through the game in a fun, unique way here because we're going to play a game called Pixel Perfect, where I was taking screenshots of the game throughout the entire game. Some of them we call 16-bit category, so you can see a decent portion of what's happening. Some of them are 8-bit, so they're a little more zoomed in. Some of them are 1-bit, where you can barely tell what is on the screen. Perfect. It is up to my casters to guess what moment of the game the screenshot was taken, and we're going to relive the key moments of the game. Beatdown, Mazel, you ready?
Yeah.
Ready as I'll ever be.
All right, Beatdown, I'm going to give you the first choice. You can choose between 16-bit, 8-bit, and 1-bit. I have 2 screenshots in each category.
We're going big, baby. Give me 1 bit.
You're going 1-bit.
I'm going 1 bit.
You want to go right into the 1-bit. All right. What is this 1-bit image that you see on your screen right now?
Oh my God, what is
the context?
I think I've made a grave mistake.
I think you have.
Christ. So it's a
come
play
in and
from this
steal
week.
it?
Is this
Yes,
a play
you
from
get
this
an opportunity
weekend?
to steal. Yep. This is no, from this last game. All of these are from this game.
Okay, that makes it way easier. Okay. Let's see.
Yeah.
This game that just took place. So it was, I want to say,
Think about when was a group of people from Cincinnati Fear together? When were they clumped? 5, 4, 3,
third dragon fight
2.
in the bottom lane.
Incorrect.
Damn it.
Not the third dragon fight. Mazel, do you have a steal? 5,
4th dragon
4,
fight.
3. It was the Baron.
Oh.
It was when we saw Young come in and he only got a double kill, I believe, after this play.
Yeah, only 2 kills.
Only 2 kills, but the fact that they were able to force Fear off of this Baron kept them in the game for much needed time.
Yeah.
Because he was only level 14 at this point.
Yeah.
You need to hit the higher levels on Kassadin to really start popping off. Didn't even have the Rabadons yet. But then because they bought that time, hey, then they got into the late game. So cool stuff. All right, cool. Mazel, that means it's going to be you. We're going to get me back full screen, all big here. Look at me. I'm giant. All right. No,
sorry,
no.
buddy.
Mazel, what category would you like?
We're going to go right in the middle. We're going to go 8-bit.
You're going 8-bit.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's take a look at our first 8-bit category. Now, this one admittedly might be a little too hard, but for 8-bit,
You set me up for failure here.
I'm setting you up for failure.
I know this.
What was the context
Yeah.
of this moment?
Oh, is that the young dragon steal?
Okay, look at the character model. That's the only hint I'm
It's
giving
the
you.
No
Vi.
hints.
Yeah, it's the Vi with the infernal soul point.
Can I steal? Can I steal?
You can probably
After he
steal.
gives a guess, it was not an
my
official
guess.
guess, Mazel. That was
it was the
incorrect.
dragon fight.
Beat
It was,
down.
it was the first dragon fight when the Rollsthorn stole the dragon.
Sorry, what's that? Ding, 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 ding! Yeah!
Let's go!
It's the dragon steal.
thought he had
It's
the
kind of covered
slow.
by the lower third.
I thought he had the slow on him from the scout
No,
of
the
the
blue
week,
thing.
'cause
The
scout
blue
of the
thing is
week-
his jungle creature, his little pet.
All right. Well, there we have it. So Beatdown's the first to score points. That's 2 points because that was an 8-bit category. So Beatdown's got 2 points right now. And it's back to Beatdown, actually. You're in order. And also, real quick, that was the first steal for Rosethorn. It honestly didn't mean that much later in the game. I thought it was going to mean a lot because it's like, oh, this is what started the dragon stack and they would get soul and win. Again, they didn't really need the soul, but it still felt like getting the early dragons.
Situation.
I still feel
Yes.
pretty good about myself. I haven't lost all confidence yet.
Good. That's what it will make
You can bring
victory
it back.
sweeter.
All right, Beatdown, you're up next. So do you want a 16-bit, an 8-bit, or a 1-bit category?
Give me another 8-bit.
Did you get?
You want another 8-bit category. All right, 8 bits. What is the context of this image on your screen?
This is the mid lane gank where Rosethorn very nicely avoided that pink ward. I believe it was, I don't remember the time, but it was level 6.
Yep, that's
Let's
enough.
go.
That's enough. That is absolutely correct. This is the first kill for Young. Got the Kassadin off the ground. Got towards that Rod of Ages early and started stacking it up, which was very impactful for the later fights, too. I love this from Rosethorn, putting some attention into Young. We've seen this as a consistent play throughout all weekend. Rosethorn is trying to feed Young. It is all about ganking the mid lane as often as you possibly can. And hey, I mean, it picked them up a win right here. Cool. So that means Beatdown, you got 4 points because that's 2 8-bit categories you have earned.
Wow.
You know, I'm just like that. What can I
Zell,
say?
there are a total of 5 points left that you could possibly earn, and you will need to steal one from Beatdown. We're going all the way up for the hard ones. All right, so we're avoiding 16-bit.
I'm going to knock myself out or I'm going to win in one fell swoop. We're going to see what happens.
This one's pretty fun.
All or nothing. Commit to the bit.
See if you get it.
Get extra points.
What is the context of
oh my
this?
God, you've got to be kidding.
1-bit image.
14.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Nice steal.
I'm not gonna lie. This one's kind of evil. This one's a little evil on my end, but
yeah,
it's
that's
still
the
good.
theme so far of all the ones I've picked. King is I don't know if it's like the first time for everything. I don't know. 14 minutes. I don't know.
14 minutes.
Yep.
That is not correct.
It's gonna be kills.
Zell, I hate to say it, but you're over 3, man. Stop feeling great.
Yeah, and then every single one that I've done has had a disclaimer ahead of it saying, "Oh, this one's really bad. Oh, this one's evil. This one's really bad."
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Sometimes that's just how the cookie crumbles. Beatdown. What do you think the context of this image, this 1-bit image is?
Conspiracies.
So I'm between, I think the numbers are too small to be objective timers. So I think that is that's part of someone's KDA.
You think it's part of somebody's KDA? Do you want to go any more specific than that?
I'm going to say it's probably assists because I don't think anybody got 14 kills. Actually, I'm going to say it was Young's. I'm going to give that a try.
Beatdown, I said that Young was 10-1 and 13.
Yeah, that's what you said. I couldn't remember.
It's all right. You would have been wrong anyway. I just wanted to let you flounder for a little bit longer.
You're the worst.
This was the percent. Can we drop the lower third pixel perfect production?
Oh.
This is the percentage that chat believed Golden Guardians could win the game.
You're sickening.
They did not believe in Golden Guardians Challenger. 14%. This was the lowest it went. It came back up to like 22. But 14%, that was insane.
You're sick,
You're
man.
the worst.
You're sick.
The worst.
What?
You're the worst.
Hey, you know what? The 1-bits are hard. What can I tell you? It's not meant to be easy. You know, we do still have 16-bit categories. Beatdown will win by default, but the players still need a little bit more time before we get into pick and ban for game number 2. So while we give the players their time, let's go through the 16-bit categories. That means I think it's over to Beatdown. You have 4 points, and you're up next to choose one. So I'm just going to throw it up there just because we only have 16 bits left.
Yeah.
What is the context of this image on your screen?
That was level 3 when Perry stole Rosethorn's red buff.
Absolutely. Ding, ding, ding. This is where the game started
Did you go to
from.
Harvard or something?
And it felt... yeah, Beatdown's just getting all of these.
Damn,
it
man.
felt like Perry was controlling so much of the early game jungling, had a really strong start to everything. Obviously, you know, a Kassadin late game got a little out of control. Props to Perry early on for doing a really good job. In
it was his mission statement, right? Like that was the whole thing, is they wanted to be aggressive early.
Yeah. Exactly. So 5 points to Beatdown in total.
All right, let me go 0 for 4.
You got to get 1 point.
0 for 4.
You got to get 1 point.
I believe Mazel.
What is the context of this 16-bit image?
Oh my God.
Oh wait, you can't see all. Wait. I might be trolling you even harder. Wait, is this gonna help? There we go. This helps a little bit, right?
Oh, yeah, that does.
That's the
there
execution on top side, right?
Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding. Absolutely. That is.
I did it!
Again,
I gotta go tell the world.
Mazel has left his screen. We no longer see Mazel. Okay, he's back.
He's gone.
He's back. So Perry, again, to highlight, had a very strong start to the game, was very active early on, went from that invade bottom side to top side, goes for the dive, clean dive. They get first blood, and then they don't even give over a kill because he gets the execute instead. So that's it. There we go. Beatdown. You have 5 points. Mazel, you got 1.
Congratulations prize. Let's go.
Mazel got 1 point. Hey, you know what? We'll give it to him. Beatdown, do you have any, I don't have a prize for you. I think you just...
I should get a speech, too.
I
finishes, get
you.
speeches.
And whoever wins gets speeches, no?
Excuse me? This isn't me versus
Kangas,
you.
what's the ruling?
This is us.
All right.
You're right.
How about this? Mazel gets a speech, and then Beatdown gets to flame him a little bit afterwards. Beatdown gets to reply, because Beatdown's rebuttals are legendary.
Perfect.
And savage.
I
So
got
Mazel,
you.
you're up first.
All right. I want to thank the one person that made this all possible. And it's myself for allowing myself to lose to Beatdown. To make him feel good. So,
I mean, at least he owns it. You know, that's very important.
I feel like he's going so far past owning it. It's back to like smugness in some way.
Comes around.
Hey man, whatever. I just know copium stocks are doing great right now, and I hope you feel proud of
I got
your
a bunch of it
contribution.
right here.
I know you
So
do.
you're not supposed to say that live on broadcast. All right.
Oh no.
We're getting ready to hop into game number 2. Players are getting ready for pick and ban. So real quick, everybody in chat, hopefully it's not 14% for Golden Guardians this next time.
Surely
But before
not.
we hop in, Beatdown, I want to get your final thoughts going into this next one. What adaptations do you want to see from Cincinnati Fear going into game number 2 after you saw them control the early game, get a decent lead to begin, and then kind of have it taken from them?
It's literally like, I think draft is fine. I think their game plan for most of the game was fine. That Baron fight that they lost, which you, funny enough, put onto Pixel Perfect, was
pull back up.
literally the beginning of the end for Cincinnati Fear. It got to a point where Young was too strong. This Kassadin got to that nightmare level, and the early Dragon Steal, I think, was big contribution because it forced Fear into an uncomfortable fight to deny the Dragon Soul. And yeah, they got it, but it cost them even more in the process. I think next game, around major objectives and things like that, really be careful about what the enemy win cons are, and when you're fighting against the comp that can chunk you or ace you the way it did it towards the end, you have to either make a decision. Finish the Baron or turn. You can't do both.
Yeah, or just give respect to the Kassadin that's trying to jump into that
Or
pit.
leave.
Either way, let's see what Cincinnati Fear have cooking. Right now, it looks like it's pretty even below us from Twitch chat. Let's see what the teams have prepared.
Alrighty, let's get into draft for game number 2 here. We do not have a change of sides. It'll be Golden Guardians back on the blue side with Cincinnati Fear on the red. We'll be getting into the first bands here. The Udyr, Bandwagons, Perry. And as a whole, I think it's interesting to see so many prior. We have a lot of Udyr players, at least in the jungle.
Yeah.
But, you know, Perry kind of, interestingly enough, has that one as well. And I think looking at the jungle matchup again is still going to be crucial. Perry having that early prowess on the Poppy was good. I'd like to see something that maybe has a little bit more oomph to it when you do have those early aggressions. The Heimerdinger for Cincinnati Fear banned away, as well as the Maokai and the Rise banned by Golden Guardian.
I think, again, like I really do believe most of the game plan draft was honestly fine from Cincinnati Fear. If there's something you want to change, it would be maybe ban the Kassadin, which I think is fine.
True.
Or take it for yourself because you're on red side. I don't think you B1 Kassadin really, so you could take it on top of a supporter jungle. And okay, that's interesting. I don't think that was banned last game.
It was not. Also, actually not made it through, which is actually not been picked at least. Rosethorn, be on the Vi again, so set up at least in that department. We get the Syndra and the Poppy. Are we just getting a run back?
I think we are. Yeah, and I mean, it's probably, again, they must agree too that it was, you know, an unfortunate decision around the Baron fight that really cost them that game, which was fully in their hands, to be honest. But the thing is, oh, okay, the true. So you do want to lock in that Nami. I was thinking for a second they take
steal
the
Kassadin here.
Yeah. No. Where would you even put it? I think Cincy Fear just ban it at this point after what happened in that last game. You gotta give it to Young some respect.
For Manui.
Oh,
Never gonna be possible. But as we get into the second phase, I think it'll be more keen to keep an eye on what we get in terms of focus of bans, because we still have obviously top lane on the table for Cincinnati Fear and their ADC, while we're looking for mid and top respectively for Golden Guardians.
Yeah, I think Golden Guardians probably going to ban away the Varus, because I think in isolation, Minui and Trevor were doing a lot of work on the bottom side. So I imagine that's something they'll be looking towards to at least give themselves an easier time in lane, especially because Rosethorn wasn't able to really have much of a presence on that bottom side. We're going to see that one come through. And at that point,
ban too.
Yeah, I mean, after that game, even if you had it in your hands and let it slip, Young was a nightmare towards the end. And they might go ahead and just ban his Azir as well. I think you're okay overall letting the Cassante slip over to Concept on the top side, because I think Faisal had a good time in lane. And again, he wouldn't have been able to have as much of an impact if the comeback didn't start.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely true. The Azir coming in as the last ban towards Young, as well, taking away some of that comfort. And the Olaf takes it through in the ban table again for Faisal.
Yeah, that makes sense. You know, paying some of your respects. And I mean, you still have a lot of bot lane options. Not that one. Besides that, though. Okay, there you go. That's more.
There you go. That's what you want.
That's what I wanted to see. You know, overall, you still have a lot of different options in terms of top lane, and I think top lane is what you want to leave to the last pick there. Give Faisal the best matchup you can, but I have a feeling we'll probably see the Cassante Kabeel run back. But I like the Aphelios. That's interesting.
Yeah, I think the Aphelios would be pretty big in terms of the team fight aspect for Fear later on. A little bit more consistent carry in that aspect, and especially paired up with Shochi on the Syndra. That'll be big. The Victor is the pickup for Golden Guardians here for Young, so that's the pick of choice into the Syndra matchup.
All right, so that one ends up being pretty good for Golden Guardians. This time around, they should have that early push into the mid lane because, again, rework Syndra, not as strong early on, so even Victor, I think, if played right, can get that push on her. And this time around, I mean, Golden Guardians, even with Young on the Kassadin, who was pretty irrelevant in the early minutes, was able to make some things happen. Now you have a mid laner that can actually fight for push, that can actually move a bit around the map with you, and also scales pretty damn well. So I'm excited to see how Golden Guardians will play this early game and make sure they don't fall into that similar position they were in where Young had to clutch it out at the Baron.
All right, well, we're changing one piece for each side, which actually I feel like might have some pretty big dividends here in terms of changing up how the game 2 goes as we get the Victor in mid lane for Young and then the Aphelios for Minui. But I do want to talk a little bit more about the game plan going into this one. We have said already, right, Golden Guardians, Prismal's trying to increase leadership and trying to make the play calls towards mid-game, trying to dictate a lot of what Golden Guardians are doing. Fear as a whole, they want to play as a team. They don't care what the play is as long as they are all playing and they are all committing. So I think a little bit of duality in how they're both approaching these games. And we kind of saw it go to the Bear in game number 1.
Yeah, I was going to say, so even they say on Fear that even if it's the wrong play, they want to make it together. And I mean, overall, as you improve, you love that mentality because it means when the right play is available and they take it, no hesitation, and that will get you a lot of success in the long term. And long term, too, going back to your Prismal point, I think that's a really exciting thing to hear because we don't often get to know too much about team dynamics, comm structures, and things like that. And it's nice to know that's being worked on for Golden Guardian's side. And even though this first week of NACL hasn't been amazing for them, that kind of practice together as a team, that kind of development for Prismal specifically in that role, I think will pay off in the long run.
Yeah, and again, his teamwork with Rosethorn will be what feels like Golden Guardians will be built off of here. But we're getting into our second game of the second series here. We crest over the halfway mark on the day. Everybody's got their hydration, got some snacks. Get ready to go. Make sure you're also spamming chat. Who do you think's going to win? GGC for Golden Guardians, Fear for Fear.
Wow.
And right now we got 50-50 still.
That's kind of crazy. It was 50-50 when we went to the break also. And I mean, it's a lot better. Yeah, people realize, you know what? We can't be sleeping on Golden Guardians.
Oh, stop talking about it, Pete. Stop. Don't worry about it.
Whoa.
No, it's going down.
I mean, hey.
People didn't learn their lesson.
Yeah, Golden Guardians, they feed off this. They love the haters, clearly.
Perry loving the haters even more. We'll just be taking a very aggressive trade into Rose Thorn early on. Got him down sub 200 health. Concept has to be pulled over. Rose Thorn gonna back here. Parry. He has flash. I think he still just has the ranged attack there. If he had maybe
he just got
charge. It back. Oh, Young. Also gonna have to flash here more than likely. Oh no, okay, just walks out barely enough. Parry's still waiting here in the bush. And early on, Fear just putting the buttons on Golden Guardians.
I love that. A lot of aggression on this level 1. Minui has to be careful. You do give up a lot of priority. Trevor, that's bold. Actually, I guess at level 1, it's okay. So, overall, no summoners really blown by anybody. But Parry is actually... so now I see what he was doing. He was standing to see if Rose Thorn wanted to start on the top side. So he ends up starting on Wolves of Rose Thorn. And he's just going to clear out his top side. And honestly, I don't think there's going to be any way of Rose Thorn knowing.
Yeah. Also, shout out to Golden Guardians there with the tweet. When they need run back, when they say run back, they mean it.
Yeah.
And hey, here we go. We'll see a 1v... Level 1, 2v2 on bottom side. Both heal and I guess both heals on each side. Going to be utilized early on, but Golden Guardians will be just fine here as they hit level 2. Make sure you're using the hashtag NACL to join the conversation. Get your tweet featured on our streams.
Yeah.
And get us to shout out your tweets and whatever you're saying. Maybe you'll have some hot takes. Maybe you'll have some base takes. Maybe Fear will find something on the bot side as well.
Right now, Golden Guardians, it's brutal. I didn't quite catch if that ward ended up expiring. We are going to see, because a level 3 Rose Thorn. Okay, he is going for the invade, so I think he might have suspected it. Nope,
Harry did not stick around for the blue buff either.
Oh, that's right. And that one's still up. I think he's just hovering to make sure this bottom wave goes through here. That's it.
My goodness. All right, well.
Could it be?
I will say... The bot lane for Golden Guardians feeling a lot better this time around. They're not under tower. They're not being pressed down. And they're actually able to get out and, again, make that connection between Prismal and Rose Thorn.
Yeah, now Array, Prismal, because of them being able to get that early push, a lot of prio means, look at that, they're going to be able to help Rose Thorn move up, get a little bit of his jungle back, be able to take away some farm. And Parry, he's going to show up top again.
Oh, Concept on the wrong side of town here.
Oh, look at Concept.
I
love it.
Barry as he's just going back and forth, finds himself in a bit of a pickle. His knockback does not actually come through. Concept, what you gonna do? Parry, what you gonna do? Going back and forth while Faisal is just slowly and surely taking his health bar down. Is he gonna give over the kill to Faisal? And he does. Perfect. First blood goes to Fear.
It was a little funny, but it ends up giving Rose Thorn a lot of time, funny enough. So Concept doesn't end up living, but he manages to almost get that wave in. At least he can teleport. And it did give time for the Wolves to be taken away by Rose Thorn. So now Parry will show up to the bottom side. I think overall you're happy with how this turned out if you're Fear. You get a kill onto Faisal. Again, more jungle attention than we usually see with this player on the top side. And it's great. I think all things considered, Faisal contributed a lot to that last game, especially when things were going in Fear's favor, which was, I mean, realistically most of the game until that bear fight.
Yeah, most of the game at least. Early flash means that they'll follow flash, and there you go, Vault Breaker for Minui. Just caught out, left out, nobody there to save him. And Fear go down 1.
Yeah, that's not ideal. You blow your flash and you still end up falling anyway, but now Fear can at least take advantage of the fact that Shochi is here. Maybe there's a play available to them. Parry's a level up.
See, as a dive was almost ordered, I fear. Again, the all-team play there, probably playing a big part of that one. They decided not to go for it. Have Dragon on the table, though. It looks like Parry will clean that one up. At least getting the early objective tracking going for them this time around, where on the opposite game, it was Golden Guardians putting all the eggs into the early Dragon basket.
Yeah, so this time they're going to be able to get an early Drake of their own and start stacking. Soul would be really nice for them, but at least you're preventing kind of what happened in that last game. You forced to take an unlucky fight around your opponent's Dragon Soul. So now they make sure that's less likely to happen. And it ends up working out pretty well for them here. But overall, early game from Cincinnati. I mean, I want to see what else Perry's going to be able to do, especially once he gets to level 6, maybe around that Rift Herald fight in a few minutes is what I'm expecting to see.
And I'm wondering if we get any more kind of priority given over to this topside matchup, right? I think last game we did see a decent amount of plays being made that way, but mostly coming from those top laners at least. And Faisal already has a 1-0 lead in this one because of that early advantage. And I want to see them kind of utilize this more, make it more of a strong point since bot lane isn't going their way.
Right, and I think Golden Guardians might be thinking of doing something similar. I see Rosethorn on the top side of the map, but it's just to make sure that wave goes through and Concept gets a good back. Overall, things a lot slower than they were before. And Perry, after that early play in the invade, hasn't been doing as much as he did last game. But, I mean, this is a player we look at who is not only really good and really intelligent when it comes to finding early game plays, but I mean, he's great in the late game team fighting as well. All things considered, you look at that last game, even when they were starting to lose it in Zell, remember, Perry was hitting some pretty nasty ults.
He absolutely was. I think that's where you look at Perry, where it's more of that kind of concept of big brain plays, right? He's very smart when it comes to thinking about the game, pathings, how to approach the game. And I think when you see that Fear are opting into an all or nothing play style in terms of like team cohesion, that plays to Perry's strengths. And after coming off so much success subbing in for Dignitas last year, this player has nothing but ups, right? And it was interesting to see him not go without teams, right? And I think that's a big point for Fear as a whole is when you talk to a lot of these guys, it's a pain point to some extent to have been passed up by a lot of these teams. And it feels like there's that chip on their shoulder where in a lot of, I mean, that's the beautiful thing about this league is that we're getting a lot of those stories because there is that competition for these positions. There is that love for the game and want for those spots. And I think when you see this kind of stuff play out, Fear are definitely trying to prove something.
And I mean, Keel even talked about it during the interview at the end of the last series. And it just continues to be a point here. And looking back now, Rift Herald fight that we were talking about is underway.
There's a beautiful engage here by Fear. They actually get one traded back, though. Rosethorn falls. Both junglers will be back and forth. And just heavy presence from these solo laners so far.
Oh, wait, look at Shoji. He might be able to make a play topside. Concept.
Oh no, Concept baited forward, but he's all out. Oh, gets the drop on it though. Faisal baits enough time and gets the kill. 2-0 for the top laner of Fear. Bubble connects the bot lane. Trevor in some trouble, not level 6, has the shielding. Array could not get the damage down there. Has to get the flash out though in the end.
And it's really nice from the bot lane of Golden Guardians, having a better time than they did earlier. This Lucian already 1-0. And Array as a player, I mean, we know he's really good at team fighting, but where he struggles is when he tends to fall behind. And now we're going to take a look at this top lane fight in and around the Rift Herald. And I mean, so much damage came through and burst onto Rosethorn, but I mean, Concept on this Cassante was able to do so much back. It ends up being a trade of junglers. And the thing I really liked was the fact that Shoji stayed and secured another kill. It delayed his back, which made it an easier chance for Golden Guardians to go for this Herald, but it's another kill on the board, and you're getting your top laner ahead.
It's a nice little win condition in their back pocket at this point, but it's about execution with that lead in the side lane. We saw Golden Guardians able to pilot a lot of that early lead that Faisal had last time around. See if they can do the same this time. Prism goes for a flash play, doesn't find it. In a bit of trouble here as the rest of his team is right behind him.
Wow.
And realizes after the flash that it was an all or nothing play there.
Yeah, and I mean, I respect it, but also that was pretty ballsy, and it blows up in your face there. You don't land the bubble, you get taken out. Realistically, Rosethorn, you don't get anything out of that situation here. And now, the dragon you were thinking of fighting for may not be on the table anymore, especially because Perry held on to the Keeper's Verdict. He didn't cast it And it will be there if Fear want to go for the dragon. Or maybe we'll see a mid lane gank come through, because I think you take Young out of the picture, it just make it that much easier.
I definitely think any presence in this mid lane would be appreciated from both the junglers. But that's something that else is interesting about this matchup as a whole is to see Young versus Shochi. And some interesting developments between the two, right? Especially Shochi, after 2 years, coming back to the stage, right? And being able to kind of come back to the fold, it feels like, with this team that, as we have already stated, is very much feeling the essence of the togetherness of a 5-man.
Yeah. Again, the Cincinnati Fear roster have been playing together for months now. And one of the earliest teams to know who the 5-man squad was going to be. But hold that thought, because we have a fight for Dragon 1.
They can take it. Keeper's Verdict comes through. Parry separates. Dragon taken by Rosethorn. Tidal wave across. They need to get out of there. Moonlight Vigil connects. So does the Power Unleashed. Rosethorn, oh so low. He doesn't get taken down just yet. Prismal might be going down now. The all out from Concept saves the day. All Golden Guardians get out of there. And I can't believe it. Concept might be his life given. But you know what? You'll take that. In the end, Prismal got taken out. Young gets taken out. Never mind. Take it all back. Fear 7-2 and on the board, 2,000 up.
And another strong start for Cincinnati Fear. Yeah, Rosethorn manages to steal the dragon, but we're in a similar position like in that last game when he stole dragon number 1. In these situations, you got to be careful about whether or not you actually can fight and can fight after and go for the steal. You usually have to pick one because you put yourself in such a tough position going for dragon steals. And we'll probably see it in the replay. Golden Guardians, once again, try to do a bit of both here, and you can see it. No level 6 on Prismal, also contributing factor. You don't have access to the tidal wave, and the fact is, Array just gets knocked away. At this point, you just want to take the dragon and just run. Prismal, don't be there, please. You just want to leave, but instead, they try to allow Rosethorn the space to escape. But Faisal and the rest of Fear said, no, sorry, there's only one way out of this.
There was indeed. I like that play from Concept, try to save the day. In the end, they did have to trade a couple back, and that catch out in the mid lane as well at the end of it was actually really big. You see in the picture, though, charge comes through. Rift Herald does get a little bit of damage on the mid lane for Young.
That is nice. Some gold. Way of turret plates goes over to Young and Rosethorn. And I think the thing I'm most interested in right now in this game is the fact that Fear really need this Mazel. They had such a good lead in that first game, and for them to be able to come back here, I think really says a lot about their confidence and their mental, the ability to kind of reset after a lost game, especially when you get come back on the way they did. But I think it's important because ending your weekend 0-2, that just doesn't feel good after the strong start they have.
It does not. They're going to try to make something happen bot lane. There is the flash forward from Manui. A lot of damage onto Prismal, getting oh so low, but again, gets out by the skin of his teeth. How many times is that already? That's incredible. Golden Guardians will concede the bot side tower, but at least they don't give over any more kills.
Still, it is nice for Minui to be able to get that tower gold. It should be the first turret of the game coming through here. Yeah, there it is. And that is bonus gold on this Aphelios, which is much needed, as Minui is going to be able to scale up and become quite a monster later on into this game. And control over this bottom side makes contesting these dragons a lot easier at Mazel, because hey, the fact is, you got that bottom wave pushed in, it's a lot harder for Golden Guardians to be able to walk through their jungle, walk into the river.
It is. I want to go ahead and highlight some of the item completions. Obviously, first mythics coming up pretty much across the board. Young Array still lagging behind to some extent, but will be very, very close once those backs get completed at least. And especially looking at this next fight in about a minute 40, you're going to want to see this dragon stacking continue for either side, right? At this point, you want to get that scaling online across the board. I think Fear have a little bit more to rely on in that aspect, but you've got to be careful for the objective stackings that will be present in this game more so than last game, it feels like.
That plus you got to worry about Golden Guardians' ability to all in. Again, you have someone like Vi paired with the Nami, the tidal wave into that cease and desist. There's a lot of chance that you're going to be able to burst somebody. When you have Victor and Lucian, who's, especially on Lucian's end, is damage is based on his ability rotations, being able to buy those crucial moments to get your spells off is what's going to make the difference in these fights. If someone like Shochi or Minui get caught out, taken out before they can do anything, that's GGC's win con. And that's something Fear have to be careful of. If they don't want to get come back on again.
Definitely want to batten down the hatches when it comes to that conversation. Rift Herald number 2, the next conversation, as Golden Guardians want to kick that up. As Fear have placed some warding, at least to get rid of some of the vision control from Golden Guardians. I think Ruin on a 5v5 here in front of the Rift Herald.
I don't think so, because someone has to answer that bottom wave coming soon. Oh, wait a minute.
Got a lot of bodies this way for Golden Guardians. Keeper's Verdict comes out. The bubble lands, though, and a lot of damage on Minui. Here comes the rest of Fear, though, and the Moonlight
Still
Vigil
alive.
goes in. All out. Concept out of there, but not for long. Faisal on a rampage now.
Really nice. Coming through from Cincinnati Fear, continuing to hold on to the lead. Not only that, push it further and further, Mazel. Because you can see it now. They get the second Herald. It's how they can easily knock down this mid-tier 1 turret. And honestly, they're in a spot where it's okay to even give up this dragon. It's only going to be the second one. That means we're looking at an almost 30-minute soul coming through here. And the way this game is going, Cincinnati Fear by then should be even more firmly in control, as long as they keep this up.
Yeah, it's still about consistency in that category. Faisal just pushing in that top side. We'll get the Rift Herald back. Oh, Trevor!
Hello.
Trevor's gone. Goodbye. Hello and goodbye, says Golden Guardians. Maybe they catch up Perry, too. My God, are they just
Perry.
like dominoes falling? I know they said they wanted all in on all the plays together, but they might not be able to pull it out. Shochi goes down next. Oh, here comes Faisal. He wants to take him out himself. He says, I'm getting revenge for my teammates. And we'll see Concept taking a 1v2 here as Prismo had to get out of there. Young flashing over the wall, make sure he can get there. Not enough damage in the end. Hookshot comes out. Fear is out of there. A lot of speed coming out, but Young wants to cut them off. I don't know if they can necessarily do this. Young's a little bit by himself, but he has Prismo there behind him. Rosethorn coming up as well. Hex Flash comes in from Barry just to have a little bit of fun with it. Tidal Wave is now here. Trevor is back. Maybe Trevor dies again.
Oh,
but
no,
Perry's the first one that falls. Knockback is Faisal. He's going in now. The cease and desist used by Rosethorn.
Nice
TP coming in now from Shochi. I think Golden Guardians have overextended now. I don't think they can get out of this one. You get flash out for Rosethorn. Concept now all left out. And Faisal is continuing to rack up these kills.
Wow, Mazel, that was a long one. And ultimately, Golden Guardians, they get something back for their troubles, but they lose still so much here. We're going to see this is where it starts. Perry, a little overextended if we're being honest, and they go for it. They flash onto a Ray to see if they can layer the CC and get the damage done. But Shochi just can't make it happen. And Fear continuously go in. Faisal saying, don't worry, let me clean this one up. And in the river, what happened is that Young ends up catching Minui. And I mean, Minui's in a good spot gold-wise, but that's 80 carry life. You get caught against someone like Victor, you are going to get taken down like that. And ultimately, at this point, I think you just walk away. As Golden Guardians, you let this one go. But they wanted to keep it going, Mazel.
Keep the carousel turning is what I like to say. Because, they just continue to fight. Honestly, kind of quick idea there from Rosethorn to get the immediate cease and desist in the end. But they were already overextended. And the TP from Shochi kind of enables that to some extent. Concept, luckily, is the only one that fell in the end. Oh, well, we're right back to it as tier 2 in the bottom side being aggressed on by Faisal as Perry now finds Concept. Needs to be a little bit careful. Tier 2 not going to fall just yet, but you see the priorities here on the mid and bot side for Fear while they have Young on top side pushing that outer tower.
Yes, teleport, so it's fine for him to be all the way across the map like that. And the big thing here, I think, is getting this mid-tier one down.
God.
Oh, wait.
Moonlight Vigil as well. Rosethorn's taking up a
he missed the
storm
vault
right
breaker.
now. Yeah, he did. Shochi gets the kill, and again, that's a big pick out.
It is really nice punish coming through from Cincinnati Fear. I mean, at the end of the day, they're fighting very hard to do two things. Take this mid-tier one and maintain control over this bottom side jungle. Right now, Dragon is the name of the game for both of these teams. And, I mean, if you want to prevent what happened last game, Fear just want to deny the soul point. I just want to be sure, you know? So that means keeping control, keeping vision. Only two very, not very far out wards coming through here in favor of Golden Guardians, and this is what we want to see keep happening. And now what I'm expecting Fear to do is push out this top side, get it as far as they can, and basically just either leave Faisal there to contest topside and then TP when the dragon fight starts, or just have him move early, because I don't think anyone can match him right now.
Yeah, I think that's the most difficult thing, and especially from a player, right, who has been around the competitive scene since 2021 on Conviction, and then moving to a new no org, things like that. Faisal has had an interesting, a short career in competitive, and I love to see the flexing of the muscles here for Faisal as a whole on Camille in this series. We've seen pretty much complete domination against Concept.
I think Faisal is one of those players too. Last year, I mean, one of the best performing top laners, if we're being honest. He's another player who we think should be on a Challengers roster, at least has the opportunity to play at this level. So that is a consolation. And I mean, he has this opportunity to prove himself, being that kind of player who, though we usually see him do very well without resources, absorb pressure, not give away too much gold. Look what he does with resources. He's 6-0-3 right now, monster in the side lane, and at this point, he can just hold it down.
Oh, maybe. Chochi, okay, gets out as the wild growth used on him. Get the keeper's burning down. Oh, Moonlight Visual goes right through the middle, and we'll see Rose Thor taken out in the end anyways. Concept is rooted down from the Gravitum as well, so that's going to be 2 quick kills for nothing, and Fear continued to steamroll.
And it's beautiful. Really nicely done coming through here. Faisal immediately commits that teleport, so now you just walk down and get the dragon. Baron isn't on the table, but at this point, Fear, they kind of have the run of the map. They're up 6k. They're in as strong a position as they were before, but this time, Lizelle, there's no Kassadin. So now, Fear denying the soul point, making sure there isn't a hyper carry mid laner approaching level 16 the way it was last game. I think Fear feel a little bit better about where they're at right now.
And also just the resources given out, right? The fact that you have a 6-0 Camille on the top side, the fact that you have Shochi in the mid lane, 4-1 on the Syndra, who's going to be getting to, you know, the execution, everything along those lines as well. So it's important to kind of continue to hammer home this advantage that Fear have, but it feels like it might even get easier as time goes on.
Right, and I don't want to mislead anybody here. Yes, this is a better spot for Fear to be in. However, if they're not careful and they make another mistake like they did last game, they can lose this lead. There are opportunities for Golden Guardians to be able to punish a Baron play like they did before. So this time around, Fear, I think, learned from their mistake, and are going to be in an okay position overall going forward. But we'll see. Golden Guardians, they made one comeback.
They
might just make another.
Hey, if the run back continues, well, then we got to get the whole run back, right?
That's right. No such thing as halfway crooks.
Yeah, exactly. We do have our third item completed for Faisal in the top side, though, so even scarier with that Death's Dance. The setup is there for Fear now, as they have, or are trying to, get some control around Vision for Baron Pit. But Golden Guardians have gotten control around mid lane here. And Faisal on his way a little bit later on from the team. And Golden Guardians doing a good job of keeping their pressure up.
Right, they're trying. They're making sure they're not making it easy. However,
Perry has decided he's going in.
Yeah.
They do get Faisal in there as well. Concept blocking lock. Keeper's Verdict does not hit anybody. Triple tidal wave. Moonlight Vigil misses again.
There it is.
And
Trevor.
now Golden Guardians, they're moving forward themselves. Array gets a kill. And don't call it a comeback beatdown.
That's right. Golden Guardians apparently have been here the whole time. And again, Fear fighting off more than they can chew. You don't have to fight right now. You're in such a great position. And when this next dragon comes, that's when you want to be trying to make these kinds of plays. But they have 4v5. They want to fight.
Golden Guardians moving as a unit. They're moving into Fear's face. Tochi, it doesn't get the knockback there. It does dissuade Golden Guardians from getting the Baron, but they move right back to it.
Yeah, I mean, it shouldn't be a big deal. Now, at this point, though, Fear, I don't think they realize what's going on here. I think they're catching the inkling now. Shochi is here. Unleash Power ready to go. Minui doesn't have ult. So the turn is coming through.
Trying to get Faisal here as he does take the Hex Gates. And once again, Fear stopped the Baron by Golden Guardians. So that's actually huge in terms of map tempo.
It is. And this is in Golden Guardians. It's an example of what I was talking about from the last game. You're getting pressure like that? Just walk away. It's okay. you still managed to get a big fight win. You still managed to get some major gold in your pocket, and it's going to give you at least a moment to breathe and fix the lane state of the game at least a little bit for you here. So now, spending their gold, reaching some critical item breakpoints, and we're 2 minutes away from another dragon.
See how important that dragon is. It's been 2 for a piece for each team so far as we look at that gold. Pretty big lead in the top side of the map. But look at that
little
gold.
bit. Oh my gosh.
In actuality, though, it is a pretty consistent lead for Fear across the board, right? They are 5,000 gold holistically ahead. But we've seen Golden Guardians pull it together in some of these moments, right? Yes, there were a couple missed abilities by Fear in that last one that would have made a difference. But if you still look at Golden Guardians, how they've approached last game into this game, there is a consistency that comes with this team when it comes to the late game objective calling. And you kind of wonder, is that from the leadership of Prismal, the shot calling that we've seen, it seems like, come out of Rosethorn and Prismal themselves?
Oh my God.
You can't get that flank, though, and come away with it unscathed. That's a big amount of damage and a double kill for Perry. They do get the all-out onto Manui. Rosethorn on the other side. They get 1 kill back. It's traded, though, and Rosethorn left out to 4 for 1, and you take that trade all day. Baron in the eyes of Fear.
Yes, you do, Mazel, and that's Golden Guardians off the map, all but Prismal. Leadership and all means that it's going to be a Baron in the hands of Cincinnati Fear, and this time around they're going to have no issues closing it out, and the timing is perfect because even though we're 30 seconds from the drag, those empowered recalls means they should be just in time to pick up the Hextech Soul Point.
Would be a pretty good advantage for Fear to knock home here now. As we were saying, they were 4,000 or 5,000 gold in the lead. Now they're about 8,000 gold in the lead. They're resetting onto the map for this dragon, which is spawning at about 10 seconds beat down. So kind of break down how Golden Guardians can approach this next fight.
Honestly, they shouldn't. I don't think they should be. Yes, you are not in any position to be fighting this. The empowered recalls, the hex gates means Fear. They're gonna get there first, and they're gonna be able to do well.
Oh no! Prismal, no! Does land the bubble. The keep inverted combo, though, is too good. And Perry picks up another kill. Killing spree for the jungler now. Oh, they found Manui! They didn't, though. They have the support of the rest of the team.
It was a trap!
Oh, it was a tarp! And another one bites the dust from Golden Guardians. Rosethorn's down for 30 seconds.
This is what I mean. In situations like this, you don't want to be focusing on that side of the map. It's not yours anymore. And instead, this is more like it. Young, push top side. I mean, technically, if had you done it sooner, you might have been able to threaten the tier 2, get a nice chunk of gold back into your pockets, but you don't. And this is the cost of it. Now, Fear, even more firmly cementing their lead, will get themselves the Hextech Soul Point and have all the tools they need to be able to close out the series.
Gotta cross some T's and dot some I's first, though, as we see Golden Guardians putting up a defense in the mid lane. Can't find too much here in the end, but at least the tower goes down for Fear. And they are pushing in topside as well. So a lot going forward for Fear here. And with those item completions kind of coming across, you know, you have 3 items, 3.5 now for Faisal, 3 items for Shochi, 2.5, almost 3 for Manui. There's going to be some resets coming out and some hefty gold spent.
Yeah, I think hefty is the right word. I mean, I even think Manui, yep, he had enough for the Infinity Edge. Big spike for Aphelios, and you can see Array isn't quite there yet where he wants to be at that 3rd item breakpoint. And overall, like, all across the board, Fear are in a much stronger position, which means they have the run of the map. And it means Faisal just pushing out these side lanes, making it so that it's so difficult for Golden Guardians to actually have a proper play to do. At this point, you have to hard commit to one of these lanes and hope you pick up a kill in the process.
True. I think that's going to be a little bit difficult, though, in this case. As now Fear have concept here as well. Not going to last, though, as they do not get concept in the end. Rosethorn, though, a little bit worse for wear, as the Nexus towers are pretty much the only thing left between Fear and a rounding out of a 1-1 victory here. They get the tower and bot side. The inhib in mid has fallen. And it's a slow and steady pickup here for Fear. They have the Keeper's Verdict going. Maybe one more fight, one more defense from Golden Guardians, but Tidal Wave does come through. Looks like Concept wants to get the knockback, wants to get the damage. They try to go in on Faisal, but the Moonlight Vigil comes across, and there you go, the AoE, and it's a quick and easy cleanup.
This is it.
From Fear. The end is 9. The death throws are coming for Golden Guardians. The run back is not enough. 1,000 gold shutdown to Concept. Rosethorn versus Trevor, and Fear back away as they just want to clean up Rosethorn, but Rosethorn kills him. Oh my God. And here comes Concept to clean house here.
Whoa.
Shutdowns aplenty. So much gold going over.
What's happening?
And here comes a Ray as well. A double kill might be for Perry, but Golden Guardians have survived for another day.
Wow. So the real commitment to trying to take down Rosethorn instead of ending the game gave a lot of time over the Golden Guardians. And realistically, this started because Fear wanted to leave, right? You see the Hex Gates, see them walking out, but Fear say, fine, you have 4-star hand, let's get in, let's tussle. And they do exactly that. They have this insane gold lead, and it pretty much culminates into a one fight. But, I mean, I don't like the decision to chase Rosethorn. Leave him. You have a big wave coming through, threaten the end of the game. Then he has to spend time going for the recall instead. Everybody's here. Young is respawned, and he's doing a lot of damage. Splitting yourself up like this has caused you to give away some big shutdowns. I think that's the second one that Concept Cassante manages to grab.
It's gonna be a lot of gold given over. He's on 3 items himself now, at least, and Carry's starting to come online. I don't know if they have the necessary like Kassadin level of scaling into the game, but Young needs to get out of there. Does get the flash, so will evade the aggression from Fear so far.
So the big thing is, yeah, Young isn't playing Kassadin. Victor at this point in the game feels really great. 3 items, Death Cap being one of them. The big thing, though, and the big difference is he doesn't necessarily want to go in, so it's up to Golden Guardians to be able to make space. That's all you can really hope for in these fights. And they don't really have that option, realistically, because Fear have just so much all-in, so much CC. With this gold deficit you find themselves in, it's just easy for you to be like, okay, fight start. Oh, I'm dead. What?
Quick and easy does it seems, in a lot of these team fights, and quickly catching out somebody is super, super crucial. As speaking of catching out, Rosethorn just insta-dies to Shochi because the Keeper's Verdict. Golden Guardians will just be routed in this second game. Another kill goes over to Fear, and they have made a mark on this last game as they are over 10,000 or just about 10,000 gold in the lead. And it's been control from minute 1. It felt like Moonlight Vigil comes through, and Fear, they lose Perry. But Perry has ensured that all the resources went to the right places, and Fear will end their weekend at 4-2. A pretty darn good record, if I do say so myself, Beatdown.
Yeah, a little shaky in that first game, Mazel, but being able to close out strong, being able to close out positive for the weekend is something to be really happy about. Oh, that's okay. The gameplay from Fear obviously brightened your life. And
it blew out my lights,
how
my
dark
key light.
Oh, yeah, we'll go with that. That's better.
No, incredible stuff, really, from them as a whole. I love the comeback, that mentality, the all-in, all-together mentality for Fear. It's coming alive and well. We'll sit it to a short little break as we do have an interview on the other side of it. Welcome back to the North American Challengers League. I am joined by the mid laner for Cincinnati Fear. I've got Shochi with me, the freshly moved into house and freshly come off of a dub against Golden Guardians. How does it feel to pull back after that really rough and tumble game number 1?
Yeah, I mean, even in game 1, I think we were pretty ahead early game, but I kind of built my items like a noob, kind of. So even though we were ahead, I didn't really do much damage, and then Young had some very nice Kassadin gameplay going on. But yeah, it feels really great to win game 2, because it was looking a bit shaky for a bit, but I'm glad we went 1-1 at least.
So something that has been a theme with all of you so far has been just all-inning together, right? Playing as a team. It seems as the message I've got from you guys. So did you have communication that you kind of want to go back over from game number 1? Do you feel like you guys grew in game number 2 because of the lessons of that really hard comeback from Golden Guardians?
Yeah, so in game number 1, our early game, like I said, was pretty good. But once Kassadin kind of got the ball rolling, we were just like, okay, use everything on Kassadin, try to kill Kassadin. And things kind of slipped out of our fingers, but we didn't let it stick to us for game 2, and we just kept hitting them with the same good early game, and I think I had a pretty little sneaky pick on Lucian on mid lane at one point, and then ever since that, we kind of just took over, I'd say.
So, to me, the vibes from the team are good. You guys all have a common goal, it seems. You guys are all seeming like in the heads in the right direction. You're all in the same place, kind of growing that togetherness. What is kind of the structure of Fear right now as a team in terms of play calling, shot calling, things like that?
So, our comms, like, we kind of all just chip in a little bit. There's not one, like, super in-game leader, I'd say. We kind of, like, trust each other to have each other's backs, and our number one, like, motto, I guess you say, is it's better to make a bad play than, like, have no play at all. And whatever the play is, like, you just go as 5, go as a team. And it ends up, like, the play's normally pretty good, and it ends up working out. So I'm really thankful to our coaching staff for implementing that.
I like it. Well, you did mention to me that you guys are all living in the same place. What's been your favorite part? Do y'all do anything fun together, like movie nights or dinner nights? Is there a cook in the house?
I mean, Perry's a pretty good cook, I'd say. Perry? Yeah, Perry and our manager, Cade. But other than that, we go to the gym, like, pretty much every morning. Like, I'm not really a morning person, but it's been pretty interesting, like, getting there, lifting some weights, playing some basketball, you know?
Okay.
And then we play some board games on our off days. It's been pretty chill.
You gotta send pictures of you guys on board game night, please.
Yeah, for sure,
I want to
for
see
sure.
that so bad. Well, as a whole, for you, Shochi, seems like the team all has a chip on their shoulders. I know you were communicating to me, you know, it feels good to win against teams that passed you up. So
yeah.
Your goals this year, Shochi, lay them out for me. What are you trying to approach this year as? What are you trying to improve? And by the end of it, what do you want to be as a player?
Right. So I've been in amateur for a little bit, like a couple years now, and at the start of this year, I was like, this is my do or die year. I'm going all in. I want to be like academy ready by the end of the year, and if not, then I'm just gonna like disappear, who knows. But I just want to use the spring split to improve as much as I can. I have a really great opportunity in front of me here with the Fear house and everything, so I just want to improve as quickly and just show the world that I can be a great mid laner.
I love it, and you're starting off pretty darn good. It wasn't the 5-1 that you wanted, but you do end up the week at 4-2. So tell me what this week has been like for you guys. I mean, you literally 3 series in 3 days, back to back to back. How has it been with the team kind of getting through this moment? Have you guys had some trials and tribulations yourselves?
I'd say like the week before this was maybe more stressful. Just like everyone getting acclimated to living as 5, and this past week we've been doing the new 2-block scrim schedule, just like scrimming like 6 hours a day, 7-8 hours, and then having a little break in the middle, you know. But yeah, we scrimmed every single day leading up to our first 3 games, and then we kind of went 1-1 versus TL. That was a pretty good moment. Like, yeah. I'm sure most people didn't think we would take a game off them, but I think everyone here knew like we could beat them. And then the series versus CLG Faith, I won't speak on too much, but you saw how it went. And then and then today's series it should have been 2-0, but it's fine to be 1-1. I think everyone's in pretty good spirit.
I'm so happy to hear that, because that is the most important thing. You guys are striving to a goal together. I do want to give you a moment to give any shout outs to anybody. I know you had some in your message to me, but give any shout outs, any love to anybody before we let you go.
Yeah, just shout out to all the coaching staff on Fear, Kiao, Leo, my positional coach, XAV, Gummy. They all do like a amazing job, wonderful job. Shout out to Tim David, like how he handles the league at Fear. Shout out my girlfriend, shout out my friends back at home, and shout out my teammates. And
love it, Shochi.
Yeah, that's it.
Thank you so much, man. Appreciate you, and I'm sure I'll talk to you again soon.
Yeah, see ya.
Alrighty, we're gonna sit to a little break. We'll be right back with the continuation of our day in our 3rd series.